Timberwolves and Thunder. This is in Target Center in Minneapolis. The Timberwolves completely obliterated the Thunder and won by the score of 143 to 101 yesterday. Ant-Man Anthony Edwards had 35 points. He was absolutely on fire. And from the start, and Julius Randle also had a really solid game with 24 points. He was absolutely on point. And all six Minnesota Timberwolves was in double figures, starting with Jaden McDaniels, Nas Reed, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, and Terrence Shannon also had 15 points. And the rest of the guys also, that was pretty much in the fourth quarter, like Leonard Miller, all them guys, pretty much when the bench came out, the third string came out, they pretty much did their thing. They held the Thunder completely in check off defensively, held them to their worst field goal percentage and 3-point percentage of the night. They out rebounded the Thunder also 50 to 31, had more assists, had more points in the paint and less turnovers. The thing is with the Timberwolves, they had to get themselves back into this series because if they did not get themselves anywhere close to back in this series, the series pretty much was going to be over, and they pretty much salvaged everything that pretty much people was saying about them, like, oh, like they do is settle for jumpers. They didn't really go into the paint. They really moved the ball on their offensive side. They really pushed themselves, further. And Anthony Edwards, he didn't just settle like in a couple of previous playoff rounds from the semis against the Warriors and the first round against the Lakers. He actually went towards the basket, did a lot of dunks, did a lot. His athleticism, pretty much his height ability, pretty much what propelled him in this game. And the Thunder just did not have no answers. They really hadn't had no answers for him these first three games of this series. It's just he kind of just was doing it mostly himself by just not continuing to attack and not continuing to make them brace the contact and then make the referees, call the game fairly and make them hacking it by the whistle. So that pretty much was those are pretty much the things that was the X factor for defensive overall differentiating from game two into this one. And also Julius Randle played so much better. Mariah, hey, how's it going? Julius Randle having a phenomenal game overall, scoring 24 points in 30 minutes. Whereas game two, he did not have anywhere close to the game that he wanted to have, and I feel as if he was struggling from the field. He only had 6, and he was 2 for 11 in game two. He just did not get into no kind of rhythm at all, and that just hit home for him. And it was probably, watching a lot of film, and then probably at the end of the day, just made it into and pretty much just made it into a game plan again and made it to an emphasis. I gotta set the tone. I gotta really spark the energy and spark the fire and lit a fire and lit a bone in the body and try to go out and just completely just obliterate and dominate towards the basket. And that's what they did. Oh, Scarlett, hey, how's it going? And so getting into the roots of everything, yeah, that's pretty much what the Timberwolves did. They had to get things appropriated, and they had to get things adjusted, like make a whole lot of adjustments as far as mixing up a lot of man and zone coverages, mixed up a lot of man and zone coverages, mixing up a lot of man and zone coverages, mixing up a lot of the like 3 and outs, so three man corners. They did a lot of like opponent defenses, which they just set up on Shea, and then also being that the officiating was called differently, where Shea wasn't really getting all those free throw like merchant like plays where he was just attacking the rim. So that pretty much was the thing that just didn't have him didn't really have his way on the offensive side, where he was just driving and dishing and thinking that he was going to get contact. Like how a lot of these point guards nowadays like to do is drive their body into the defender and kind of force the referees and hand to draw fouls and get contact. yeah, that wasn't gonna be the case in this game. It just wasn't gonna be the case at all. So, yeah, the Timberwolves made a lot of adjustments and really kind of just said, you know what, we gotta really match the spark and energy to really try to get them to get that fire going. And now it puts the pressure a little bit on it puts the pressure a little bit on the Thunder now. So the Thunder going into game four, since the Timberwolves made the adjustments defensively to try to contain Shea and to force Jalen Williams to make tough contested shots, and same thing with Luke Dort, which they're known to do all season long. They're known to do, but to me, this is the kind of game that you have got to put them just to say and do what you want, do what you please. So that's just how I feel at this point. So yeah, for me, in my opinion, for the Thunder, they have got to make a whole lot of counters and moves, and just really kind of go into game four, knowing that not necessarily your backs is against the wall at all or anything. The Timberwolves still got to find some way to get back in the series and win game four. But to me, if you want to try to control your own destiny to get to the finals, game four is the most important one. And Shea, you have got to really start hot and don't settle for jumpers. You got to really put the energy and match the energy that the Timberwolves made as far as aggressiveness and as far as just knowing that you got to get there. You got to get to that. You got to get to that cusp of winning the championship. The ball is at your court. The destiny is at your fate. You got to get there. You got to just come out and just be openly aggressive, openly transparent. That's pretty much how I see it. And for the Timberwolves to get back at themselves in this series, for Ant-Man and Julius Randle, you got to continue to do what you've been doing and continue to drive and continue to move the ball and continue defensively, get better, force turnovers, and go inside the paint and dominate in the paint, get offensive rebounds, get second chance points. That's pretty much how you able to get it back in this series, man. So another thing also, the lineups and the ball rotations. Dante DiVincenzo also is an X factor in this series. He also has to get involved as well. He's got to be in double figures because he pretty much is another presence that sparks the point guard aside. He picks up a lot of the pace, very much similar to what Alex Caruso does also defensively on his end. So Dante DiVincenzo has got to really get involved and really get himself going in order for them to really push themselves and get further contained and get back in the series. So that's just how I see both things handling out. So for me, game four, I think the Thunder probably gonna win. Is probably gonna win game four. I think the Timberwolves will probably win game five and still one in Oklahoma City. Yeah, I know that's kind of tough to say because Oklahoma City is pretty much it's pretty much it's pretty good. It's pretty solid at home. So to me, they only lost one game at home. That was to the Nuggets. So I think the Timberwolves are probably still game five. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult, but just that that that's gonna be the main thing that's key, and that's gonna be mainly essential. So that's just overall my thoughts about game four and overall my post game recap for game five. I mean for game three. There's nothing really to pretty much be said. It was pretty much a blowout. So yeah, those are just my thoughts about everything. So tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. I will be back to do more content for you guys later on today. So be on the lookout for it. And I'm probably gonna do more post game recaps and post game coverages like this as well in the near future. Probably for MLB, probably for the XFL league in football, and definitely for the women's WNBA. So that's coming around. So I probably will do more coverages like this. So, uh, but yeah, tell me, guys, what you guys think down in the comment section about game 3 for the recap for the Thunder and the Timberwolves. And who do you have in this series and why? Tell me down below. So anyway, that's all I got to say. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.